So this is the Snowy Rail Bridge, which was built in about 1914. And at that stage, Orbost was just a tiny community, very remote, very isolated. All its produce had to go out to Melbourne, down the river and out to sea. So the building of the railway line was a really major thing for the development of the area. It's not very high, but its purpose was to take the trains over the floodplain. So it was a critical part of the development of this area. So the railway line was in operation until 1987, which is when the very last train went over this bridge. Since 1987, the bridge has just stood here and gradually been falling down and falling down. The Snowy Rail Bridge is a really important icon for Orbost, and it's an overused word, but it is literally an icon because it's so incredibly visible that you can see it. You unmistakably know that you are in the Orbost area when you see this bridge. It is the longest bridge of its kind still remaining in Victoria. In 2015, the campaign started to see if we could restore this bridge. We formed a local association to lobby and advocate for funding to restore the bridge so that it became a walking and cycling route, not just to pick it up and prop it up as a historic remnant, but for it to be something that people could experience and walk and cycle across and enjoy. In 2020, we received funding for stage one of that restoration from the Victorian government. Stage one of the restoration has enabled us to do the critical repairs to the substructure of the bridge, which was starting to visibly sag year by year. It was becoming more and more apparent. There was very little time left to save the bridge. So the critical work of stabilising the substructure has been done, and it's enabled us to put a new deck on either end of the bridge. So we wanted to make this a really attractive place for visitors to come to. Where I'm standing is what we call the western end of the bridge. There's a beautiful 300-metre walk through the rainforest to get to the bridge itself. There's a lovely picnic area. There's a magnificent view all the way across the floodplain, over to the mountains and to the bridge. There's some really beautiful tables. Come in with your thermos or your bottle of wine even in the evening. It's a really lovely sunset spot in summer. There's some beautiful carvings on the table there done by an Indigenous artist, Alfie Hudson. Out on the bridge itself, there's a couple of expanded viewing platforms. Down at the far end of the bridge is quite a spectacular red entry colonnade, and it's actually modelled on the dimensions of the VFTY timber wagons. Within that colonnade, as well as being the approach to the bridge at that end, there's a lot of interpretive signage that talks about the history of the bridge and of the local area and the campaign to restore it and its eventual restoration. We're really proud of the work that we've done to deliver stage one. We are looking forward to completing this project with stage two, completing the restoration of the bridge and enabling people to walk all the way across it.